The neighbors washed and cleaned this vagabond. You will not believe how it became. No one really knew where he had come from, nor where he wanted to go. All they knew was that, waking up one morning, there he was, somehow, trimming the trees and mowing the grass in the field. Everyone was no the wiser who had asked him to do what he was doing in the first place. A tiny, giddy young fellow. If you were to observe him closely, which, of course, you wouldn't, you'd see a few whitish-gray threads of hair at the back of his head. He seemed a little dull, somewhat innocent and harmless, which is why, perhaps, it took them a little time to get to know him well, just well enough to trust him to trim the trees and mow the field. They said he'd be paid for the work he did. Soon enough, a few neighbors realized that hair was a stupid little thing that could be easily exploited. He complied with whatever they ordered him about, and they used this to their advantage. They had him do their household chores, washing clothes, cleaning dishes, mopping floors, drying and ironing, all for just 100 rupees or so a month. Not that he ever complained or grew dissatisfied or tired. He complied so much with their whims and fancies that they gradually became dependent on him. Sometimes, I felt he was happier than I was, with the bare minimum that he had. I felt he slept more soundly under what passed for a mosquito net under the open sky in one corner of the street than I did on a cozy relaxo bed. Sometimes I wished I could be him, free, contented with whatever little he had. I remember the day he approached my father, who was getting ready to leave for college, asking, "Babu, can I have 20 rupees? I need to go to a dhaba nearby, can't cook today, feeling very sick, please, Babu. I'll give it back as soon as..." Father had stopped him midway, handed him a 50 rupee note and said he'd never have to return it. For some time, Sagar just stared. He did not know what to say. He'd asked for just 20 and got 50. So he smiled and thanked my father. I'd happened to look into his eyes and knew he felt the gratitude from the heart. Sometimes we would chat and he would tell me about his village, his people. He said it was a beautiful land where he came from. His village was surrounded by forests and hills, full of green trees, and the people were true gentlemen. He explained that the government had bought the entire village, including the area along the hills and the jungles, and had handed it all over to some big company that would set up a mine there, perhaps a factory, and that he and his people had become homeless.